And can you explain who that is?
John and Charles Wesley, founders of the Free Methodist movement, the Wesleyan movement.
Okay. And they were what in the family?
Like 16th and 17th.
Is that right?
Last couple.
Amazing. Yeah. These children, these people are not getting here today. And, you know, do you kind of worry about that? Who's supposed to be curing the next disease that isn't here?
Right.
I don't know. It just kind of is a scary thought of, you know, of not only children in our families that didn't get here, but somebody else's too.
Right.
And, you know, it's something to think about. I want to say it again. The book is QuiverX. You can get this on your website, QuiverX.com, Amazon. Get a couple copies. I really think people need several copies. Take it to your high school. High schoolers, get it to the college library. Donate it to your public library, your high schools. Young people need to know this point of view. It's not talked about. There's no sitcom right now, and I don't think in 50 years of television there's been any support for big families and embracing. And you know, you talked about that too. You might not have a big family. You just say God chooses, and you don't know, right?
Right.
That's true.
Right.
What that's going to be.
That's true.
I think that's important to say. You may think you know what will happen, but you never know what will happen or what God has in mind for you. I guess the last thoughts I want to leave people with are thinking about old age is certainly something to be thought about, and how if you are a person of faith, think of your point of view and your voting and all of this magnified. Kind of talk about how you had that in the book. You had the two charts, the person that has two children, the people that have several, and what happens 50 years down the road.
Yeah, 50 years down the road, the family that's only having two children each generation might have 30 to 40 that they've left a legacy behind for. With the QuiverX mentality, in the chart, in the book, we just assume 5 children even, which is conservative because this is number 8 for us, per family. Just at 5 per family, that same generational time, you're talking over 700 legacy of your family that you've left behind that can impact the world to do the things that God has placed them here for.
Shannon, leave somebody with one last thought. If somebody's watching the show right now, and they're making this decision, maybe they're engaged, and they're watching right now, and they're thinking, well, of course I would limit my children. What do you want to say to that person?
I think if you try to limit the number of children you have, you're really limiting the blessing of the Lord. And He wants to bless you, and children are a reward. It says that in Psalm several times. And if somebody was going to give you $1 million, you wouldn't say, no, I can't handle it. Just give me 1,000. I can't take $1 million. You wouldn't. You would say, okay, I've got $1 million. What am I going to do with it? And it's the same way with children. You can't say, I'm just going to cut it off at 2 or 3. You have to say, okay, Lord, what do you want to give me? And then learn to deal with whatever He gives you, because He will enable you, and He will teach you and grow you and instruct you as you go.
I love it. It's beautifully said. Again, the book is QuiverX. Thank you so much,
Jim
and Shannon. When I turned 40, something weird happened. I needed glasses. I needed them to read, because all of a sudden I couldn't see the words clearly anymore. What a drag. But do you know what else? There are some other people that I don't think can see clearly either right now. Maybe you've heard them before. They sound something like this. It's not a baby. I'm really sorry. I have to tell you this, but honey, it's not a baby. It's so totally, duh, not a baby. Hello? Have you heard that before? I have too. You know, it's not true. That is a myth. Of course, you might have also heard it's just a blob, or it's just a mass of tissue. That's not true either. I think this flyer from National Right to Life says it really well. It says, "Excuse me, America, this is tissue. This is not. Of course, what we're talking about here is a human baby. It's not a baby bunny, or it's not a baby bear. It's a human being with 46 unique chromosomes, DNA, blood type different from the mother, all from the moment of conception. You also may have heard the pro-abortion side say that it's not a person because it's only less than an inch tall or less than an ounce or two in weight. That's not true. We're not human beings because of how much we weigh or how big we are. Let's look at that logic for a moment. Supposing I had a 300-pound football player that stood over 6 feet tall. Is he more of a person than the 98-pound violinist? Of course not. What if I had a 200-pound man that lost 50 pounds? Did he just lose a quarter of his personhood? Is a preschooler more of a person than a toddler? No. Is an adult more of a person than a teenager? Oh, well, never mind that. The point is, no. They're all human beings. We're not human because of our size or our age. You probably have also heard the pro-abortion crowd saying it's not a baby because it's a fetus. What exactly is a fetus? A fetus is simply the Latin word for little one, young one, developing human. In other words, the Latin word for baby. Do you find it odd that when a pregnant woman is excited, she calls it a baby? And when they want to talk about abortion, they call it a fetus. Only the problem is, it's the same kid. Fetus simply is a way to cover up what we're actually talking about, a real human being. I bet you've never once heard a pregnant woman say, "My fetus kicked today." So they want you to believe, if it's wanted, and it's a baby over here. It's not wanted, it's a fetus over here. That simply isn't a fact. It's a baby either way. I bet you've also heard people say, a woman should be able to do whatever she wants with her own body. Well, what about the fact that half the time a woman is carrying a male child? Isn't that true? As last time I checked, you can't be both male and female at the same time. I don't care what was on Jerry Springer last week. So let's remember, a baby is a baby from the moment of conception with different blood type, different chromosomes, different DNA than anyone else in the world, even different than its birth mother. That is a fact. So do you still think it's not a baby? Do you still need to see clearly on this subject? Well, I have good news, because I brought some glasses right here, free of charge for anybody that still needs to know it's a baby. Because accurate scientific information can never hurt a pregnant woman. But it sure can hurt the abortion industry. And that is no myth.
My humanity found, once perfection is self, and when love always abounds, then I'll reach out for your help, saying up all down, saying up all down, saying up all down, saying up all down.